Hello, WellBetic community. It's Dr. Marisol with your WellBetic Wellness Suites. Joining us today from the state of Florida, the Sunshine State, is Doug, who was diagnosed with prediabetes just last year. Welcome, Doug, to WellBetic's Wellness Suites.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
We are so happy to have you. Let's get started with having you share with us how everything sort of came about and how you got diagnosed with prediabetes.
Okay, no problem. Last year or so, I felt a little off, digestive issues basically, and a lot of profusely sweating when looking around, like in the golf course or doing exercises. I'm sweating to storm up, and I'm looking around at other people, and they're not sweating like me, and I'm like, what's this?
Okay.
And I'm like, this isn't normal. So I realized certain things, I was sluggish and things like that. So obviously I go to what most people do, I Google it and see what the symptoms are and see what it may be.
That's a good point. Yes.
So I knew I had a doctor appointment. I knew in the near future and blood will be taken, and said, all right, let's see what it may be. And one of the things that seemed to keep on popping up in my search was diabetes. And I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. My father had diabetes. He had a leg chopped off later in life, and that kind of left a memory in me of that's not a need to take care of these things. So I got my blood work. I went to the doctor and got tested and stuff, and I think it was a 6.3 pre-diabetic. And then went to see the doctor, and we discussed it, and he's like, "Oh, okay, we'll just keep an eye on it. No big deal." I'm like, "What does that mean?" "No, we'll just keep an eye, and we'll give you a test in 6 months or so." The next day, he called up on the phone and said, in a panic, like, we need to do something about it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, kind of what happened since yesterday type of thing.
Sure.
Oh, I was looking
Absolutely.
back at your records, and it's like, yeah, I think you really need to do something and put you on medicine and metformin, low dosage, and you need to attack at this point. So I just,
Do you think that perhaps that panic call was a result of maybe looking back, he had noticed that perhaps you were at that pre-diabetes level beforehand, maybe years before this sort of started to happen? You started to have
he
symptoms?
probably saw the,
Mm-hmm.
going up, whatever, but
Okay.
for some reason, you could hear it in his voice, and I'm like, whoa,
Okay.
without him saying.
Okay.
So he didn't really give me much. He said, well, you need to take metformin, low
Mm-hmm.
dosage.
Yes.
You eat healthier and
Mm-hmm.
exercise.
Okay.
And the way I am and my wife is, all right, that's not enough information.
Good for
Everything.
you.
So,
Good
so,
for you.
so
I
back to
love that.
back to Google.
Back to Google. Okay.
In conversation with Dr. Marisol here, she
Yes.
suggested that I go see a nutritionist
Yes.
to
Yes.
change the diet. I thought I ate healthy,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. My wife is very healthy overall and stuff in life, and myself somewhat healthy, but have my hamburger and things like fries, and never really thought much of it. But most of the time I didn't eat that way. But on weekends I did and stuff like that. So once I realized I need to change my diet and cut sugar way down and stuff like that, and then it was the search for what to eat and how not to change the way I look at food.
So what I'm hearing you saying is that education was really important and it was key. And you felt that you had to search for it yourself by coming to me, by my indicating that you might want to see a nutritionist just to go over what you should eat or perhaps how you can eat a little bit healthier if you needed to make those lifestyle modifications along with physical activity.
Right. Yeah. I just want to feel better, whatever,
Absolutely.
more alert, more whatever, less sluggish, and just kind of, a very active lifestyle and want to continue that.
Absolutely.
And I shouldn't have sweat going down my whole body and looking at
And,
everybody else like, oh, they're not sweating at all. What is this?
and not feeling well.
Not feeling well, feeling whatever, faint in a way if you overdo it and stuff. And I knew that was not normal.
Sure, sure. And would you say that those were your biggest challenges when you first got diagnosed with prediabetes?
The biggest challenge is I didn't know what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I'm lucky my wife eats a healthy diet.
Mm-hmm.
So I followed more her direction than what she has done, her entire life.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful.
Eat a lot more vegetables and food, and very careful looking at labels, which I never did before.
Excellent.
and seeing things that I could eat that I actually enjoy. It's kind of a search for things, right? To find things that aren't, bland or whatever that you can actually enjoy to eat.
And I felt wonderful being part of that journey and
Yeah,
also continuing to be
yeah,
part of your journey as you move forward.
yeah. Very
And
grateful. Yeah,
yeah,
very grateful.
and you're doing a great job. Very, very proud of your success and your
Oh,
progress.
thank you.
What tools would you say were the the biggest tools, or perhaps not the biggest tools, but what tools do you feel gave you the most information, set you in the right direction for you to stabilize your blood sugars and perhaps even bring down your hemoglobin A1C, which
Hmm.
was 6.3 at the time that you saw the doctor?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of it is research, obviously, and Google what that is and stuff, and even Facebook groups. I joined every face group there is for diabetics and listen to their advice. I mean, I understand they're not doctors and stuff, but a lot of people are going through this
Sure.
situation and whatever, a lifetime change, and they all have advice, and you just read it and see if any of it makes sense, and they have suggestions of what you could eat and enjoy life and do
Mm-hmm.
things, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to be 100%, but you could, you know, have meat once in a while. You're not supposed to have red meat too often and things like that, and just change your diet and life goes on. And try not to make it whatever a life. It is life changing,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still
Mm-hmm.
have a good life by eating normal and enjoying yourself in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I do agree with that. And also the fact that now you can join the WellBetic community.
Right.
Our family is out there. We're
Yeah.
preparing to invite everyone that's listening to us at the moment to come and join us and share their stories and learn from each other. Those are all great things in terms of supporting each other and thriving together.
Yeah. You can't do it. It's very difficult to do it alone.
Absolutely.
You need a advisor like
Yes.
Dr. Marisol, of course, and team of people that have done through this and stuff and whatever, and the nutritionist and everything. And
You
I think the
do.
more people
You
you talk to,
absolutely do.
because
Then
I'm not a doctor, I don't know, whatever. Just I read and discuss and you learn.
absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Right. Very, very so. Very true. What would you say are your next steps now that you have a little bit of a handle on what's been happening with you? And now that you know that part of the issues you were having was perhaps caused by the prediabetes that had gone undiagnosed.
Yeah. Well, my next step is obviously I'm looking forward to my next blood test and see how if I'm
You're
being
doing well.
successful, doing well or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am because I'm feeling a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a physical sign.
Mm-hmm. And you've also lost a
I
little bit
lost a
of
lot.
weight.
Yeah, I lost a lot of weight. The doctor did
Yes.
suggest you need to lose, a lot of weight and see how that
Mm-hmm.
goes. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to
Mm-hmm.
get off of the medication if I can,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. We spoke about that. That
Okay.
may not
Okay.
be a lifetime thing, or maybe, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, but you had to
Mm-hmm.
research it that there's
Mm-hmm.
different options in the future.
Absolutely. And your whatever your goals are, making sure that you articulate those goals to your medical provider so that you can negotiate things.
Right.
Whatever is making you feel well, you continue. And then the other stuff, make sure that you discuss what are my options? What can I do differently? If one of the goals is to perhaps not have to take metformin, how do you negotiate that with your medical provider to make sure that you stay safe and that your blood sugars stay in a
Right.
good range so you don't have any
Hmm.
long-term complications like the ones you are familiar with due to your family history?
Right. No, you gave me good
Yes,
advice that maybe I just take the doctor's advice and just go with it. But you gave me some good advice, like maybe
support.
try it for
Mm-hmm.
6 months and see how you do without it. Because I
Mm-hmm.
always had the question: is it the
Mm-hmm.
diet that's changed and changed that, or is it the medicine, or is it both, or
It's a
what
combination. Mm-hmm.
combination? What
Sure,
is it? I don't
sure,
know, but
sure. And making sure that you have those conversations with the medical provider so that the
right,
two of you can
right,
decide together. Not
exactly,
go off the medication without letting them know that that's what your plan is. Sort
Ex-
of make sure that both of you are on the same page.
exactly. So yeah, so it's a lifetime change, and
It
looking
is.
forward to being healthy and active. And I'm just retired recently, and I want to be an active retiree and not be sitting on the couch, and keeping my health, being healthy is the main goal.
Absolutely. It really is the main goal. Well, we are so grateful to Doug for joining us today. And we asked Doug and all of you to go to wellbetic.com/coming soon and join our WellBetic family. WellBetic for a happier, healthier you. Join us on Instagram and Facebook. Great to have you.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.